Is your other line ringing yet?
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
how you all of a sudden get sexy when I need you to be louder?
What? Hey, Travis.
Okay, yeah, talk to me like you know what's going on. Okay, I'm set up and I'm ready right now. So we can totally switch gears. Did you cancel the other line? I'm gonna cancel it for you, don't worry about it. Okay, so here we are. We're ready. All right, so let's jump right into it. I'm looking at my time right now, and I'm gonna keep us where I said I was gonna keep us. So, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Well, I can go first. I mean, I know we had this conversation about are all answers. Is there an answer to every question? And it really made me think about it.
There's two parts. Hold on. Let's make sure. Let's keep it all squared up. Is there an answer to every question, and is there a solution to every problem? It's two. So you're getting ready to expound upon that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's repeat that one more time for me, please.
The question is do you believe there's an answer to every question, and is there a solution to every problem? I've heard you say yes in the past, but when we got in our little back and forth, I think we were measuring to see whose nose was the longest, and you caught yourself saying, no, I don't believe it. And I was like a little disappointed. So now you're going to expound on how and why you don't believe there's an answer to every question or a solution to every problem. And I'm going to listen patiently like a little child.
Okay. I still don't believe it, but it wasn't to be difficult with you at all. I even went so far as to have a conversation with one of my friends about it, because I was thinking about it, and I was like,
which friend was this?
My friend.
Oh no, we're not gonna say that. Well, I'm gonna edit her name. Okay. Can I reach after we finish talking? Is it possible that I can reach?
Well, I'll ask him. I don't see why not.
Okay, so let's talk about
He
what.
agreed with you. He said.
Oh well, then I don't need to reach him if he agreed with me. Okay,
Yeah.
so then now
He
let's.
disagreed with me.
Okay, good. Somebody needs to disagree with you at least once in your life.
But it wasn't a matter of. It didn't matter. It wasn't a matter of agreeing or disagreeing. I mean, I'm glad that he said, yeah, I believe he says we may not know it, but I believe there is.
Well, that's the conversation. That's the conversation you and I had. Exactly. Just because you don't know is.
I understand it, but I still feel like there's probably something out there that's not. I don't know what it is.
Okay, let's listen. Hold on a second. Your feelings does not negate what we know and what's factual. So the moment you say, well, I feel like there is, then we're having a different conversation. So let's talk about why you don't believe it only. And if you start with your, well, I feel, then we're gonna be in the same boat, because I understand how you feel. And
but that's where I'm coming from. I don't have the answer, so we're already gonna be set up for failure then, because I truly believe that there's possible that there could be something or a solution not solved or a question not answered, but I don't have an example of that. I just feel like, and let me just say this is what I feel, and I know you don't agree with it, but that's okay. But this is, in all the craziness with human beings, I think that some things are just unanswerable, if that's even a word. And I don't know why, but that's the way I feel.
Okay, well, slow down. Then name one.
I know, I can't.
Well, then you have to listen. Listen to me. Just take a deep breath. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to persuade you, nor am I trying to manipulate you. But I would like for you to be able to not be just unnecessarily difficult just because you have a strong.
I'm not
if you're not, then let's get through the conversation, because if you're not, then don't act like you are. I don't want to put on a clown suit and say I'm not trying to be a clown. I'm going to put on a big red nose and a puffy wig.
I'm not acting being difficult. I'm just saying to you, I'm not trying to be difficult.
I'm not put. I just have on a red afro wig and a orange wig and a red nose and shoes 3 times my size and white makeup, and a big mouth outline around my lips. I'm not trying to be a clown. I'm just putting on this kind of makeup.
Okay.
So let's just have the conversation. If you say you don't believe there is, but then you don't have an example of how that it's not, and then when I ask you the other day in regards to, I'm sorry, I've got this. So when I asked you the other day about yourself, if you broke your leg, would you believe that you could heal and walk again? Yes or no?
Yes.
If you had just a regular old stomach ache, would you believe and wish that there was a day that you could feel better?
Yes.
If you had a terminal ill condition, would you not hope and believe that you could be healed?
Yes.
Okay, so everything that I could think of, I could sit here all day and think of all kinds of things that apply to you directly. You can say, yeah, I have believed there's an answer and there's a solution as it relates to you. You will believe for yourself, but then you can't believe in general. How is that possible? Help me. How can you say no?
I don't know, but I don't know how is faith and belief okay, but feelings are not.
I never said feelings were not.
But you said, I don't want to hear your feelings.
Well, okay, your feelings as it relates to proof and truth and true knowledge. I'm not saying feelings are not important. I have feelings too. My feelings are very powerful. But when it comes to, negotiating truth and facts, how I feel about universal principles, if I could use that terminology, how I feel has to take a back seat. It doesn't mean it's not irrelevant and it doesn't matter, because I've never said that. I'm going to never say that. And I'm not saying it to you. But how you feel about something doesn't negate the fact that it is. So I'm going to go on record saying, yes, I believe it, that there is an answer to every question and there's a solution to every problem. How I feel about it or how you feel about it is, I don't want to say it's irrelevant, and I want to say I know there is, but saying I know would be putting me in a different place. So I don't want to say that, because belief is powerful in some areas. But for you to just say you don't believe it and then you can't explain why or even how, but then you can believe it as it relates to something related to you personal, I'm having a small problem with that. And I just want you, for the sake of time, to just explain how you can stand your ground on saying, no, I don't. Please. Because this is what I do want to do. Maybe I do want to persuade you to look at facts, proof, and truth to change how you're feeling. So that's what I'm saying. Look at everything we've discussed and what we're discussing now, and how you have no other, display of proof or truth, to support, just your feelings. I am trying to say, okay, well, maybe you should consider maybe that there is an answer and there is a solution to a problem and a question. So I'm going to try to stop talking, because my face is going to turn blue in a few minutes, and you're still going to. You hope I do what?
Stop talking so I can say something.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I apologize.
It's all good. But like you said, all those examples that you gave me, I unequivocally agree with all of them, because those are rational, logical examples.
Rational and logical are key words. Go ahead.
Yes. But the things that I feel like can be answered, I don't think that those from a standpoint are as clear cut as the things of the examples that you laid out.
Well, name one.
I wish I could, but I don't know.
Well, then you can't stand on.
Because it's more of an emotional thing for me.
Exactly.
It's more of a but that's
okay, hold on.
Let
me introduce something then. Okay, this is very serious, and I want you to open your mind, because it's going to sound a little tough. It's going to sting a little bit, so take a deep breath. Maybe you have a strong and powerful need to be right? Is it even possible? Because everything you're saying, you said it was logical and reasonable, but you're still going to say, but no, even after logic and reason has been present, you're still going to say no and stick to it.
Travis, for the items of the things and the examples you gave to me, I agree with you 100%. I believe most things can be answered. Absolutely. I believe there is an answer to most, 91%, probably 99% of solutions has an answer. But in my spirit, and I'm not trying to be difficult with you at all, I just think that maybe there's some things that we can't have the answer for. That's all. That's it. And I don't know that, I don't have an answer for you. But something in my spirit, and it has nothing to do with being right or wrong with you, my dear. So I'm so sorry to disappoint you. But it has nothing to do with that. But something in my spirit says to me, I don't know if I believe that there is a solution to every single thing.
Okay. Let's address, hold on. I got you. Let's now put the subject down and address what you introduced. Okay? You said something in your spirit. Let's not be without examining what this something is. Let's have that conversation about what the something is, because you can't say you don't know, you can't give me an answer because you don't know that, and then say, well, it's something. Let's address the something, and let's address the possibilities of all of the somethings that it could be.
Sure.
What about that conversation?
Sure.
Okay.
Fine. Let's do it.
I first said it's just the need to be right. Maybe that could be something. Or if you shoot that down, I'll go to the next thing. So is it, do you just want to be right in that, okay, you don't have an example, you can't create one. Every other one that I said you agreed with, but then you don't have anyone to contend with, you're still saying no. Is it possible that you have a hidden need in your psyche to just be right or not be wrong? Is that possible?
I guess anything is possible, Travis.
Okay, so is that a yes or no? Is it possible that you have a personality that it has a need to be? Okay, so now that it's possible, I'm going to say, okay, well, that's what I think it is. Now, you don't have to prove anything, but just tell me how it's not. Maybe you know that the answer is, right in that, okay, well, yeah, there is an answer to every question. There's a solution to every problem. But because I want to be right, because I already said it, I don't have any proof. Everything he's explained to me in terms of an answer, he's right. You even said that. All the examples are right. Maybe you just need to not need to go back and say, okay, I'm going to change my thoughts. I've heard all the evidence. You put it all out there. But I'm not the kind of person who's going to go back and say either I'm sorry or maybe I was just inaccurate and now I see where maybe I could believe that. Maybe you just have that strong need to be right.
Okay. But that's not the way I feel. That's not the way I feel.
Okay, then so you just so that's the something. So that's that we're gonna overrule that as the something. Yes or no? So that's not it.
Because that means something to me. That we're gonna. I know you don't want to have anything to do with feelings, but I do.
I'm not stopping you from having anything to do with feelings, and I do want to have something to do with feelings. There's just a time and a place for feelings, and when you're getting to the bottom of something, especially trying to resolve an issue, your feelings can't take backseat over proof and facts and evidence. So I'm not saying feelings are not important. So are we going?
Why can I? But what issue are we trying to resolve? Is this really an issue?
Yeah, it is an issue.
But why is that?
I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because I ask you a simple question that you have a no answer to. Okay, let me just give you an example then. If I ask you, is a chocolate candy bar from the store sweet? And you say, everybody else says, yes, it's sweet. It's a dessert. It's considered a sweet treat. And you decide to say, well, no, it's not. and I say, well, it's got this amount of sugar. It's ranked up there high with some of the high calorie desserts because of the sugar that's in it. You're going to say, well, because it's your favorite candy bar and you don't want to be guilty of eating sweets, you're going to say, no, well, this particular candy bar is not considered sweet because, and then all the evidence says it's got a high calorie count, high sugar count, and everybody else says it's sweet. But even after I present all of the sugar that's in it, and I put it up against lemons, okay, it's sour and bitter. It's not sour or bitter. It is a sweet taste to most humans. You say, no, it's not.
I think you have to give me examples that are not, or examples that are not
obvious.
Like that.
Okay, well, so I give
because
you.
I'm feeling my answer or my result from that is more from a more emotional standpoint.
Exactly. I got it. Okay, hold.
But the examples that you were giving are not on the same.
I'm doing that on purpose. I like to do outlandish examples on purpose. You know why? Say why. I'm going to tell you.
Why?
Because, and listen carefully to my response. Because although the example is outlandish, the principle is the same. The principle is the same. You can't say a candy bar off the shelf in the grocery store aisle that's loaded with sugar is not sweet just because I feel like it, because it's my favorite candy bar. I don't want it to have a bad rap, and I already said that it's not sweet. Everybody else says it's sweet. It has the sugar content. It has high fructose corn syrup all in it. But you're just going to say it's not sweet just because it's your favorite candy bar, and then I can't prove. I can't
but
even.
I'm not going to say it's not sweet.
Well, then you are saying that there's not an answer to every question, and there's not a resolution to every problem. You are saying no to something that it has the same principle.
Okay, I feel totally different.
I know it's because you.
And now I feel very defeated with the whole thing. So.
Well, listen. Proof has a way of doing that. Evidence and transparency has a way with overshadowing darkness. So yes, darkness will be defeated when the light comes on.
Okay.
So let me just say to you, and I'm going to try to close because we can go on to something else. I'm not trying to convince you, but I really want you to at least consider, or at least have hope, that there is an answer to every question, and there is a solution to every problem. Some will require a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice. Most require just a little ego check. But I want you to take these 2 aspirins that I'm going to give you, and then let's talk again in the morning. At least begin to have hope that there's an answer, because you have the hope for yourself. You just don't have the hope for saying it in general. So yeah. I can leave it there, because you know what I really wished I could do, and I can't. Like you said, I there's so many things that you can't do. I don't care how much, and I'm going to go here on this one. I don't care how much you go up to a committed racist person and you tell them that this black person or this white person is human just like you, and you show them the blood cells, you show them the heart, the liver, the lungs, the eyeballs, you show them that they have a family and that they have kids and they have feelings. They burn, when when it's hot, and they freeze when it's cold. If you show them all the ways that a person is human just like them, but in their mind they are somehow, because of their feelings, are convinced that I don't like this white person or I don't like this black person. You can put all the evidence and information in front of them they want. If they are hell-bent on what they feel and what they have already convinced themselves of, you have to do what I'm going to do right now, is wipe the dirt off my feet, the dust rather, and just go on. I cannot, with all the evidence and information and proof that I've presented to you, with all the examples that you agreed with, and the one that you can't, I just don't know why I hate white people. I just don't know why. I'm just convinced that we're different. Why? I just feel like we're different. I just think I'm just not gonna do it. And white people just bad. Them black people, they just terrible. I'm just not. Okay. I can't have the conversation any longer. I can still appreciate you as a person, but I just want to leave you with this. I don't have proof. And I didn't ask you to say you know, which is how I'm going to close. I didn't say, do you know there's an answer? I'm just saying, can you muster up enough energy inside of your intelligence to believe that there is an answer and a solution to every problem in question? And if you insist on saying no, I'm gonna back away slow like Homer Simpson into the bushes and fade away. And I'm gonna let you have the closing statement, and thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Please have something to say in closing.
Sure, Travis. I don't know if there's an answer.
I didn't ask you to know. I asked you if you believed.
Well, I thought you were going to let me just close.
I am, but I can't let you just take me down the wrong path or take my audience down the wrong path. I never asked you if you knew it. So if you start off with I know, you're stating the obvious and you're addressing an issue that no one is contesting.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So can you close with relevance? Or don't get mad at me because
Or maybe I shouldn't even say anything.
No, hold on.
Good.
Well,
okay,
hold on. Don't do that. Listen. Don't.
What did you just say to me?
Hold on.
What did you just say?
All I did. Listen. It's my responsibility. I ask you to come on my platform. I've got to hold you accountable for the focus on the subject. If you now start talking about honeybees, I'm not going to stop you. But it's like, that's not where we're going. If you start deflecting.
You will stop me.
Okay, well, allow me the opportunity to maintain a little order and focus. That's all I'm doing. I'm not being disrespectful. But if you start saying, well, I don't know, I don't know either. I just said that a few seconds ago. I don't know that there is. But can I convince you to have hope? Keep hope alive.
Sure, I'm going to have hope.
Okay, well, hope and belief are first cousins. They're spelled a little different, but they have the same auntie and uncle and, the same bloodline.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Belief. I'm working on it. I have hope and belief.
That there's an answer to every question. Well, you have it when it comes to you. If you got something terminal, you would want to believe and hope that there was an answer to solving how you feel. You would hope that there's some medicine or some information somebody can give you, or something that you can get, or a prayer, if nothing else, some divine intervention that could happen that will cure you and heal you and make you feel better. So yeah, you can have it then, but all of a sudden you can't have it because you've already said no.
Okay. Breathe.
I'm trying. You got a bag over my nose though, and my mouth. A plastic one.
You're all right.
So, in closing, and I'm gonna just shut the feed after this question. Do you believe there's an answer to every question and a solution to every problem? Yes or no?
Yes.
Last question. Part A of the last question. Question and then part A of the question. Do you feel forced, railroaded, manipulated, or persuaded with the fact that you have changed your perspective? How did you come to a different perspective?
Well, that's several different questions you just asked.
Well, pick one. How did you arrive at changing your perspective? Because the other day, and when we started, you said, no, you don't. Now you're saying yes. How did you arrive at a different perspective?
a different perspective because I don't think you understand where I'm coming from. So it's just, I understand where you're coming from, and I got it. So it's okay.
So you're doing me a favor. You're going against your beliefs just to make me feel good.
Yep. Because I think we're on two different paths, two different pages with that.
What
it's not the same.
What two different pages are we on? Explain it. I'm going to let you take over now. What two different pages are we on?
No, from my feeling perspective, which obviously is not real or valid in your perspective.
That's not true.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
I'm not saying it doesn't count. I never said it didn't count. Okay, let me answer. I never said it didn't count and it wasn't valid. But listen carefully. I'm going to give you an outlandish example, but look for the principle. Okay? Okay?
Sure.
You plan a picnic at the beach. And you have all your bags packed and you're ready to go. You have a few people invited. And just as you start to unpack, it starts to rain. Is there anything you can do about the rain, yes or no?
No.
Are your feelings going to change the fact that your picnic was rained out, yes or no?
Yeah, I might be a little sad about it.
Okay, is it going to change that it got rained out?
Not at all.
Okay. I think I'm comfortable enough to close there because the moment you started to go, you started going to your feelings, and we addressed that 3 times, and then I just gave you another example.
But didn't your question ask me about my feelings?
Well,
ask me about my feelings?
Yes, and I was getting to the point. The point I was making in asking the question is your feelings can't change the facts, so you can't let your feelings outweigh the facts.
But my feelings can change because of the fact.
I'm not contesting that. I agree with you on that. That's not my argument, or that's not my point at all. Your feelings did not change.
Well, maybe my feelings didn't change because of the rain, but my feelings changed because it rained. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not contesting that. Okay. If how you feel about it is 100% up to you. You can keep that to yourself, or you can go yelling out in the street, in the rain. It's raining. I want it to stop because I feel bad. Well, it didn't stop because of your feelings, and your picnic is rained out. Did your feelings change the fact that your picnic has rained out? Yes or no? You already said no. That's the principle I'm making. How you feel does not negate the fact that having a belief and hope is very natural, normal, and an extreme reasonable expectations of most humans to have hope and a belief in something positive. So again, I keep saying I'm going to close, but it's hard to just let it go. But I have no choice. There's nothing I can do. You seem to still be convinced, just like, the racist. I'm just going to hate white people or black people just because I just feel like I do. No proof that we're any different enough to hate somebody, but if that's where you want to be, and yes, I'm using an extreme, outlandish comparison, but the principle is the same. You have a strong view about something based on just a feeling after all the information, proof, facts, and evidence has been presented. If you're still going to insist that your feelings, are I guess more valid than those proofs, facts, and transparent evidence and information, then there's no more I can do. I'm gonna back away again and try to go. And gosh, it just I told you when we first started talking.
But what about the person? Let's use your example for a second. What about a person that is racist, but doesn't believe that they are? They can't answer that question. They know there's no difference between a white and black person or whatever, but they don't but they still don't like the person because of their race. What is it? What is that? Why? Why?
There's a word called ignorance.
Okay.
And a need to be right. That's why, and that's what.
Okay. Gotcha.
And it's across the board. That principle is the same.
So maybe what I'm thinking of not having this answer, maybe that is for people. Maybe I'm thinking that thought process that one.
Well, I addressed that. My first reason as to why you kept saying, well, it's something. And then I said, okay, well, I didn't get around to ignorance and or the need to be right, but I did address, well, you just have a strong need to be right. You have all the information. You're right. You just said, that, that these people that are racist know that there's really no big enough difference to hate someone, but they just believe it and they do it anyway. It's just the need to be right.
But that's a good example of how, that was a really good example to share of kind of what I'm talking about, like this human behavior, right? I'm talking about when I ask you, or when I'm saying to you, I don't know all the answers, there are questions about, and if there's solutions.
Keyword is no. We're sticking with believe. I know you don't know. I don't know. I would be someone else if I said I know there is, and I know I'm not. We were talking about, belief, and we were talking about a belief in something positive, an answer to a question, a solution to a problem. Those are positive things, but racism is kind of more on the negative side, according to, society.
And I think but I think that's kind of that behavior, or those types of behaviors are more so what I was thinking of, is that I don't understand those, right? Those are the type of things that have the solutions that gives me the pause and saying, I don't understand. I don't want to say there's a yes to every answer or a yes to every solution.
Just because you not wanting to say it is just as bad as not saying it. Martin Luther King Jr. said, those who know something is wrong and don't say anything is as bad as the ones who are actually doing it. So if you know that what you're saying is a certain way and you say, or I don't want to say it, why you don't want to say it? Why? Why don't you?
That's not what I said, though. I'm saying from a perspective of those behaviors, or those types of behaviors that people have in general. That's where, that is a part of me. I don't understand those.
Of
right?
course.
So that is why I answer the way I answer it.
Okay.
Not based on something very logical and very straightforward of the other examples you were giving to me, correct? I got that.
Okay. Let me just go. Let me show you what it sounds like to agree with something or someone. I agree with you. I don't understand. And I don't know those behaviors either. Just like I don't know that there's an answer to every question or a solution to every problem. I don't know why people have those behaviors, or I don't know why people will know something is truth and right and evident, but will still say no. I don't understand that either. I'm not trying to understand it. All I'm doing is bringing awareness to how we listen, how we hear, and what we do with the information. You've been presented with a lot of information, and you eventually said yes to the proof and fact. But then you went behind it and dumped on it by saying, I'm only doing it because of you. That's not why I spent the last 37 minutes with you, just for you to just agree with me. That's the last thing I wanted you to do. I was hoping you would be able to see the evidence and information that I'm presenting and then have a different perspective. But if you say you have a different perspective, and then the reason you're having a different perspective is just because you're not really having a different perspective, is kind of contradictory all around the board, which is why I have to again try to back away for the third time and leave it alone. I don't know why people will have obvious information, obvious evidence, obvious knowledge in front of them, and their feelings will overpower all of that, and they will stand firm and stick to it no matter what. And even if they do give in, when they have nowhere to go, they'll still say, I'm only doing it because of you. So I don't know what else to say or what else to do. But again, just keep trying to back away, because there's no more I can do. I've done my job in bringing awareness to hearing, listening, paying attention, and trying to understand, to walk away with what we've heard. You've heard a lot, and you're actually walking away, but it's almost like you're being a sore loser. You're going to kick me in my below the belt just because, the referee said, the time is up and you can't fight anymore. So let me kick him below the belt before I leave.
Okay.
So I'm just going to walk away limping, knowing that, okay, I did, prove that I maybe had a little more endurance in all of the 12 or 13 rounds. And I just had to take this kick in the gut, below the belt before we go. And I'll be okay with it. But there's something called a sore loser. And I'm not going to say which one of us is a sore loser or that either one of us lost. But wherever the shoe fits, you'll find it on that foot. So I'm going to try to leave with that, unless you want to close with something. Please have something to say, because now I feel like,
No. We're going to stop this conversation. It's good. It's fine.
Okay.
We've already said all we can say, baby.
All right. Well, as I always say, I love you more than you'll ever know. And I do wish, just like, a mother loves her children, but she can see them out doing stuff, you still love them, although you know that they need to have a little more Jesus in them. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead.
I know I need some more Jesus too. We all need a little Jesus.
I know. Anyway, I love you, and we'll talk soon.
I love you more. Yes, sir.
All right. I'll call you back later.
Okay.
All right. Ooh, that was a good one. Of course, I give them the last word, but I'm going to close, or I may let them close, and then I'll have the last word, whatever this is called. I just want to say that I went through trying to pull teeth out of a shark's mouth below the surface of the water, or below whatever, deep down. And it wasn't easy. That's my friend, and I love her. And I'm not going to say anything bad because she's not, on the phone with me now. But I am going to say, I don't know that there's an answer to every question. I don't know that there's a solution to every problem. I do know that where there were not answers or solutions to the problems that have been solved and or the questions that have been answered, there were some people who didn't know how they were going to reach those resolves, but they did. And having hope in anything that has a dull side of it in the present, is how we reach higher heights in life in general. The belief that things can change. It was Dr. Martin Luther King who said, I have a dream today. That dream had to do with his hope. And although it's not perfected, his dream is much more truer or more true than it was at the time he made the speech. And I'm going to continue to carry on his dream as well as my own dream. I'm going to quote Dr. Martin Luther King as I close out with my own thought and dream. I have a dream today that everyone will have the mindset and the heart to believe that there is indeed an answer to every question, hard question or easy question, and there is a resolution to every problem, whether it's an easy one or a hard one. Let's just continue to, as the Reverend Jesse Jackson would say, let's keep hope alive. And regardless of what kind of people we run into or why they just cannot admit to something that's plain as the nose on our and their faces, it's okay. We have to continue to move on with the hope and believe. We can't let 1, 2, or 3 or anyone stop progressive, good movement. Till the next time, I love you. And you, find someone you need to say I love you to. Don't just say it, but show it and mean it.